What was the stupidest thing someone has asked you 100% seriously? I'm a postpartum nurse. A patient asked me when will the doctor be here to pierce my nipples so I can breastfeed? The insurance company asked if there was a chance that my dad's amputated leg would grow back. While working as a butcher, I showed a deli clerk how to break down a whole chicken into pieces. I show her 2 breasts, 2 wings, 2 legs, 2 thighs. She looks at me and asks, which part does the turkey come from? Because I'm a dwarf I get a lot of hilarious ones, but one of my favorites was, do you need to get a smaller engine for your car? I really wish I could have seen your internal process that led to that question, lady. Someone was placing an order once at my family's restaurant, and they had asked me for a side of french fries without the potatoes. I assumed she was joking, so I laughed. She was not joking. She got offended and left the restaurant lol. How did we know that they were called dinosaurs? Edit, over 23k, and not a single one of you ducks wanted to break my gilded hymen. After 7 years, I still don't understand Reddit. Edit, amazing. My life is the same. Thanks Gilda. I worked in a pizza restaurant when I was 16. They had a pizza they called a UFO pizza. It was just another slab of dough on top of a regular pizza, and it made it look like an orb, hence the name. One day a guy that worked there was writing down a telephone order, turns around and says, "Hey guys, how do you spell UFO?" The owner looked mortified and just repeated UFO. He stared back in silence for a few moments before it hit him. My 20-something daughter asked why we never see squirrel eggs. Us parent types responded that's because squirrels are mammals and don't lay eggs like birds do. To which she responded, then show me an infant squirrel / breastfeeding squirrel. This led to a conversation that was much longer than needed to be. People visiting Alaska on a cruise would walk onto the dock, a dock protruding into the Pacific Ocean, then look up at the mountains and ask what elevation we were at. 1 foot, ma'am. You are standing on a dock which is at sea level. My current boss asked me to make the pages smaller so she can see all of them. She had Excel zoomed into 200% and thought I was just sending things in font 46. This person has been in her position for 12 years. Ugh. First day working a tech support job, I answer a phone call from a woman whose laptop won't turn on. She's at the airport trying to get some work done and is very frustrated because she had been working for several hours during a layover and the laptop suddenly shut off. I asked her if she had the laptop plugged in when it shut off or if she was just running it on the battery. It can be plugged in. I thought it was supposed to be wireless. I honestly thought I was being pranked because I was the new guy. After a lengthy pause to decide if this was a serious call, I advised her to try plugging it in. Laptop turned on. She was amazed that it didn't just recharge itself when she wasn't using it. Can you imagine what kind of animals giraffes duck? Yay dude. Other giraffes. In my driver's ed class the instructor was discussing cardinal directions. He asked a girl on the front row what direction her house was from here. She points out the window and he goes, so, west. She responds, well, it is my east because I am facing you. Do we have the ability to open digital files? This is the guy who would print PDFs from our server then scan the print to his email so he could save them to his desktop. Was a Mac genius for 7 years. Customer asked if her iPod would get heavier as she puts more music on it. This one guy asked me how to unknow something. Waited on a woman who asked me what kind of meat was in our beef taco salad. Lady, what kind of meat is in your beef taco salad? Me, beef. L, what kind of beef? Me, beef, ground beef seasoned with taco seasoning. L, no, I mean is it pork or chicken? Me, madarum, it is beef, it is from a cow. It is beef. 25-year-old woman asked me if a blowjob could get her pregnant. I have a buzz cut. A guy at work recently asked, "Dead seriously, do you cut your hair? Or does it only grow that long?" Question mark. The scene. Meeting some new people in a college class. I introduced myself. "Hi, I'm Love is Legally Blind." New classmate. "Don't you mean different name? That sounds a little like mine." Me. "No." He thinks it's time to double down. "Are you sure?" "Why not?" Me. "Because that's not what my parents named me." "Like what?" Who corrects someone on their own name? I have a somewhat unusual name. People misspell it or mispronounce it all the time, but this was special. A full moon only happens once every 10 years, right? A girl at school asked me if Wisconsin was the capital of Texas. She was confused, cause she moved to TX from we. I said no, it's Austin and Wisconsin is a state, not a city. She said ooh, thanks. We were high school freshmen. How? Just how? Y'all a girl. In high school, we were warming up before a baseball game one evening and some really ominous dark clouds started rolling in. One of my teammates very seriously asked, "Is that a storm, or is that just night coming?" I will never forget that. When I was in college and my flatmate saw my room, he asked me in all seriousness, "Why is your toilet so clean?" Do you think they're a little old to be lesbians? Working for a rafting company, I am asked far too often at the end of the float if we are back at the start. Rivers do not flow in goddamn circles. If it was possible to even land a plane on Japan, because it's so small. Because, you know, maps are a 1:1 description of the world, / The guy ahead of me asked the Chipotle employee, "What is our taco?" It was lettuce. He asked what lettuce was. What day of the week is Good Friday on? Do you mean what date? No, what day of the week? It was on a Thursday last year. No. Work in retail. Guy comes in. He looks pretty average. Has a nice suit, nice glasses, well kept hair. Above average, I guess he's looking for a particular stock pot that the store carries, and I bring him over to where they're kept. He begins to stare at the box. A deeply troubled look emerges slowly on his face as he places his hand on his chin. The box art depicts the pot in use, with some photoshopped water and a corn cob bobbing out of it. This is relevant, trust me. After about 10 seconds of him staring perplexedly at the box, I ask, "Anything else I can help you with?" He replies, sounding confused, "So, this thing can only be used to cook corn?" I stared blankly at him. Was he ducking with me? His vexed demeanor told me no, he was indeed concerned about the product's potentially limited use. I honestly have no idea how long I was speechless. It felt like minutes. I couldn't speak. No one is that dumb, right? He eventually says, "It's okay, I'll figure it out from here," and continued to gaze at the box in hopes of gleaning the answers to the troubles he had encountered. Not asked, but my mom straight up said we should drive to Puerto Rico. So, that was interesting. Edit. To address the two most common comments, no, this situation has nothing to do with my username, sorry. Second, my mom was totally serious about it and was about to call to see how much a rental car was. People do have brain farts, people. While holding a container of Morton salt, do you know if there's sodium in salt? I mean, I know there's iodine to prevent retardation, but is there sodium? Literally had a guy ask me yesterday, if I hit the cashback button, does the money come out of my account? Dude was like 30, and he thought cashback was just free money, I guess. Edit. A cashback option appears on the pin pad if the person runs a debit card. It is a retail store, not a bank. Not asked, but in high school show choir, we took a trip to Toronto from the US for a competition. One girl thought Toronto was in Florida and only packed bathing suits, shorts, and crop tops. Edit. RIP inbox. For those that asked, we were in the southeast, So we were traveling north, and it was around March-ish. I don't remember exactly. It was 2001, I believe. Please subscribe to Reddit Throne. Please subscribe to Reddit Throne.